So here's a brand new guitar, hot off the presses. This is a Gloria, and it's really pretty deluxe instrument. It's got a cutaway, an arm bevel, a sound port. The top is made with redwood, and this is redwood from this famous tree called the Lucky Strike tree. And it is, in fact, really wonderful wood. You can see that it's beautifully quarter sawn from the silking across the front of the instrument here. And the back and sides are African Blackwood. So let's start with the Blackwood. I've actually never built a Blackwood guitar until now. It's a member of the Rosewood family. And this stuff is like the densest wood I've ever encountered in my life. It's denser than Cocobolo, which I thought was as dense as wood ever needed to be. But this stuff, when I was working it, I thought, this is like hot rolled steel. This guitar, even though I build, my plate thickness is pretty thin with my guitars, and they're usually really light. This one's heavier than usual just because of the density of that wood. But it imparts an incredible sustain and brilliance to this instrument. The sustain just goes on forever because the wood is so dense. It doesn't deflect when it's hit with sound energy. It doesn't absorb it at all. It just sort of bounces right off and creates this incredible sustain. So this thing will sustain as long as any instrument I've ever built. And it also has a lot of character in the top end. It's very sparkly and sort of angelic sounding. I love the Blackwood. It was really interesting to work with. It's famous for dulling tools, but I don't have to do that much with it aside from thicknessing it. And I scrape it with a scraper before I finish it, and it's just like cold butter. It doesn't care about the grain. It just scrapes beautifully. And it's also, when you buy a set of it and you get it in its rough sawn, just a guitar set comes in these rough sawn pieces of wood. They're usually about 3/16 of an inch thick, and it looks jet black. But as you refine the finish and refine the surface and eventually put finish on it, it has this really amazing iridescent quality to it. There's a lot of brown, and as the light moves across it, it shimmers. And then the redwood, as I said, is Lucky Strike redwood from this famous tree, which I don't know that much about it except that it's famous. And Ray, whose guitar this is, purchased that and had me build with it. It's really excellent wood. It's in similar, redwood is similar to cedar in that it's lighter than spruce. But I've always said, it's not so much the species of the wood, but the particular example of the wood that you're using that makes the difference. And this is really pretty dense redwood. So it has almost approaching some of the qualities of spruce with power. It has a lot of power. I mean, this guitar is super, super loud. And it doesn't seem to have any problem with headroom. You can play it as loudly as you want to, and it doesn't compress. And besides that, it's just really, really beautiful wood. And then I put one of these arm bevels on here, which is a really nice, comfortable thing. This is, I wish I'd invented this. I didn't. I think the first one was invented by Grit Laskin, who's a very renowned maker. And I want to give him credit for that. This is a slightly different style, but the idea. See, I'm afraid that all the great ideas, I'm an implementer of other people's ideas, a synthesizer. But what a great idea, I wish I'd thought of it, but it was too. Anyway, and then the sound port, which I think is also his. This man's contribution to Luthery. But the sound port is my favorite of all my features. It allows you to hear detail in the sound that you could not ordinarily hear except by sticking your head over in front of the instrument. Finally, it's got a cocobolo binding with a curly maple purfling, and that gives it some nice flash without adding any shell. And then ebony appointments. So this has these really cool tuners which are made by Schaller. They're called Grand Tune, and they're a relative newcomer on the market, and they're really, really beautiful. I'm talking so much I need a drink. And they tune really well. They have a very nice, easy feel to them, and they're precise. I like them quite a bit. What else can I say about this instrument? It smells really good. Let me give a little more sound here. Oh, one other thing I can think of to tell you is I changed recently my cutaway profile. And I used to use a symmetrical cutaway, which was really just a sort of part of a circle. And now this is the first guitar where I've used an asymmetrical one. So it cruises along here with a nice sort of circular curve, and then it suddenly steeply goes up. And the advantage of this is that it allows a little bit better access to the higher frets. So this thing doesn't depart until the 17th fret from the fingerboard, and it's really nice. It feels great up there because I can comfortably go all the way up to the 20th, 21st fret there. So that's a cool thing. All right, well, I've gone on long enough. Here it is, this beautiful Gloria, and it's going off to Ray this week. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.